Hey guys, I'm Taylor, also known as loopholbrook online. Today I'm doing a deck tech and match of Esper vehicles, which I'm playing in Season 3 of the Untap Open League. This was made partially by Mussy, who won Season 2 of the Untap Open League. So, a proven player has built a proven deck, in my opinion. But it's a really aggressive, slanted tempo deck. You have cards like Smuggler's Copter, Scrap Heap Scrounger, Toolcraft Exemplar, stuff like that to kind of like put your opponent on the back foot, and then you play stuff like Spell Queller, Metallic Rebuke, and Reflector Mage to get insane tempo swings. And then you're generally closing the game out with like Gideons, and I have Dragonlord Ojutai in this build. In the league, I'm using Avacyn, and I'd recommend the Avacyn build. Dragonlord Ojutai just wasn't a good tempo play, and he didn't really gain the card advantage that I was hoping he would. So just don't play this version, play the Avacyn version. One of the main issues with this deck is its Obzon matchup, so I have 2 Hostage Taker in there to hopefully like help with the other mid-range matchups, which are generally good as long as they don't have Siege Rhino, but if this can steal a Siege Rhino, that helps. This is main board. It somehow got sent to the sideboard. My teammates think that red is a bad matchup. I think it's good. So there's Fumigates and Fatal Pushes and Dispels for that. Erishan Clerics. But overall, I think this has pretty good matchups across the board. Let's get into the match. So in this game, I'm playing against Double Osama, who plays a 5-color Panharmonicon deck. It has the Sahelli combo as well as Siege Rhinos in it, so this is a really good matchup for me. It's a bunch of slow combo type cards, which this deck preys upon, which is part of the reason why I played it in this season of the Open League. I should mention that this is a replay, so I didn't know what he had in his hand while we were playing, but for the sake of the viewer, I decided to commentate afterwards so you could see what he had. I'm just going to play a Smuggler's Copter here. I just want to get on the pressure. This also allows me to next turn play another artifact and hold up Metallic Rebuke. I'll miss out on 3 damage, but that's not really a big deal if I can counter like his bigger stuff. And he plays a Servant here, which is really good for us. It shows that he's thinking about playing a 4-drop because he has accelerated mana, so I'm just going to pass. So we see in his hand he was missing a land, so he plays a Prophetic Prism. Had I known that, I would just attack, but I didn't, so I think I made the right choice to not attack anyway. He's going to have at least 4 mana next turn, so I'm probably just going to counter whatever it is if I draw a land, which I did. So I'm probably just going to play the Smuggler's Copter and then hold up Metallic Rebuke. I'm not expecting to play a 5-mana creature, so I'm just going to loot away the land here. Gideon should be able to close out the game really quickly if I can just tempo him out, which I think I can. So he's going to attack for 2, and I'm just going to take it. Of course, I can't block or anything. He plays Panharmonicon here, and I choose to Metallic Rebuke it, but in hindsight, I should have let that resolve, because then I can counter any of his other spells, as I don't have more counter backup. Here I'm just going to play Gideon, make a token, crew both Copters with a Scrap Heap, and the Night Ally token, and I'll get a double loot. And this also puts him on lethal as long as he doesn't play a creature, and I have another creature to play, which I should. Here I forgot to tap for the crew cost. I'm going to loot away the other Copter because you just don't need 3. So we see here he goes for another Panharmonicon, which is really good for us. If he would have played Rhino, we kind of would have been a little behind, I think. I think we probably still could win the game very easily, but I'm going to draw a Thalia, which is just going to seal the game here. I have lethal on board from the 2 Copters and the Scrap Heap Scrounger, as well as the Gideon attack. That's basically the perfect game for Esper, and it just kind of shows the strength of the deck. So this game too is really, really fast, but I'm going to keep it in here anyway, just because I feel like it's worth seeing how fragile some decks can be in Frontier. I don't have the best hand, but I don't have a bad hand by any means. If I can draw another land, I'm in shape. So he goes with the turn 1 Authority of the Consuls, which is terrible for me because it's a big tempo loss while I'm playing a tempo deck. I'm going to play a Polluted Delta here so that I can fetch for a dual land if I need to. and it'll come in tapped. He's going to play a Servant to kind of speed up his mana. I decided to go with a Prairie Stream because white is the most important color, and then blue is secondary, and black is least important. And as you see in my hand, I only have one Murderous Cut anyway, so I didn't need blue-black. He's going to play a Sorcerer's Spyglass here. I didn't want him to see my hand in case I had anything to sideboard, so I just scooped. I wasn't going to win that game, just the tempo loss was way too much. So game 3, this is a little land heavy, but it's fine. I have 2 threats and a removal spell, so I'm happy to keep it. He didn't have an Authority of the Consuls, which I was really happy about, because anything that comes in tap makes this a lot harder. So I just go for this Grab Heap Scrounger here. There's no use in holding up Fatal Push. I want to be the aggressor in this matchup. He goes for the Servant, which is kind of bad for me because it means he's accelerating his mana, which it scared me. I thought that he was going to play a Panharmonicon or something. I choose to go Thraben and Fatal Push here instead of Thalia because I don't want him to be able to get ahead on mana. Get him for 3. So with 3 mana here, he had multiple plays. He could have gone with Reflector Mage or Reclamation Sage. This is obviously not ideal, but I can deal with it. I could hold up Metallic Rebuke here, but I'm just going to play Thalia. I think the lands coming into play tapped is going to be a big deal, as well as the creatures, and I'm just going to swing. If he wants to trade, that's fine with me. He's trading 1 CMC for 3. He's going to play a Servant here, which is fine with me. It comes into play tap, so I'll be able to get in with Inspector again. I don't expect him to block with a Reclamation Sage since he didn't last turn. I could crack the Clue here and look for another 3 mana spell, but I don't think it's worth it, so I'm just going to attack and then pass back, holding up the Metallic Rebuke and able to crack the Clue. So I counter this again because I think with Thalia I can just let a Siege Rhino resolve and I'll still have a tempo advantage. The reason I tapped a Clue is because I can still sack a land and then draw a Fatal Push and kill the Servant off the Clue. So Spellqueller is a perfect draw because this just means I'm going to close out the game. I'm going to get in for 4 more damage here, and I'll be able to counter whatever big play he has the next turn. So this is where Thalia is really important. It's making him tap his Servant, which gets away another blocker in order to play his Panharmonicon. I'm just going to let that resolve because it's not really affecting the board in any way here. I'm just saving that for like a Siege Rhino or something the next turn. I'm expecting him to block with Reclamation Sage. But he attacks with Reclamation Sage, which just allows me to play Spellqueller for lethal. And he's going to scoop here. But this is a perfect example of why this has such a good matchup against Marvel and stuff like that. Remember to subscribe here if you haven't already. You can watch our most recent stream and our most recent gameplay video here on this channel. Follow us at Twitter at MTGFrontier, all one word, and Twitch at MTG_final_frontier.